on. Whoa.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now?
I think it's that button.
Did our
I think I've got it. I think I've got it.
Can you hear us now?
Let's.
It went away again.
No, I think I figured it out. I think it's going to come back. Let me know, guys. There's like a delay in the chat, so it's like we just got to hold on. Dun dun dun. There. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, we're stable. Hopefully. I know what I did. We are good to go. Super professional. Super professional.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay. We can cut this on the video. It'll be fine.
Sure.
Okay, let's start again. So, okay, here we go. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, so we weren't here last week. We have no excuse. We were just being lazy. Well, we won't be late.
Well, actually,
we weren't being lazy.
Right. The technical reason is that I am working on new features for tangent templates, and the show was a bit distracting. So I decided to just focus on
have
work
a week off.
And have a week off.
So we have some awesome stuff coming to tangent templates. We're hoping this week,
hopefully
this week that we might have some new goodies for you in tangent templates. We are paddling like little duckies. You know how like little duckies are like swim, but they look all chill. We've got a lot of things coming for you guys. So yay, that's all in the works. Well, we've had a busy couple of weeks.
We have.
We went to see the Martha Graham dance company.
Oh, that was really cool.
It was really good. Oh my gosh. So Martha Graham was she was probably the leading American choreographer, especially the leading female choreographer from like the 1920s through to about the 70s, 80s, she was active. And her dance company reformed and they did a really awesome performance in San Diego. It was totally sold out. And it was celebrating the 100th anniversary of
the
19th Amendment,
and
which is
the
women can vote.
Women can vote, giving women the right to vote.
Well, if they're not British. Sorry.
Legalized citizen women to vote. Right.
We're legal American citizen women can vote.
Yeah. So anyways, it's a trip that like it's just it was a huge reminder that women could not vote up until about 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
So that's like, yeah, because you just, I don't know, like growing up, you just kind of feel like things were always the way they are as they are now.
And we're old AF, so but I think it's kind of an interesting topic as well. I know someone in the KDP group mentioned that they're working on or research on that, so I assume for books. So kind of a lot of ideas out there for 19th Amendment books. It might be something like you can make books that celebrate women's votes, cool cover pictures. Go look for public domain pictures. I'm pretty sure you'll find some public domain pictures because most things from that era are going to be in the public domain. So take a look at the Library of Congress. If you have a look on the Library of Congress, you'll probably find some pretty awesome pictures, images, posters, maybe legal documents from that era related to women's rights to vote that are probably in the public domain and you can use in your books.
It's like the stars align. This is like the perfect year to hit up that niche.
Oh, and we have stars behind us.
Whoa.
But this is like my little nod to dark mode. So
we'll talk more about dark mode later.
Susan, that's funny you say that. She's asking if we wear our own t-shirts. So yeah, Isaac designed this one.
I designed this one, and this was like my favorite shirt.
Well, okay, he designed this shirt for our T-shirt Revolutionaries course, which was like 3 years ago. It was the course we made for merch. And you showed how you designed this shirt.
I think I showed that one, yeah.
Trypophobia, which was kind of a trending subject back then. And in fact, it's grown pretty much as a trending subject.
Yeah, there was like no shirts on trypophobia. I think we probably uploaded the first shirts.
Yeah, because I remember when we found it, there was something like, I think it was like 50,000 searches on Google in the month, because it was being featured on American Horror Story, I think. And there were no books, there were no t-shirts, there was nothing about trypophobia. So that was kind of your thing. In my shirt, there's kind of a story. So this is actually the name of our improv team at the moment, although improv teams tend to be a little bit fluid. Oh my gosh, you know is it Theseus's ship? You know, the ship that like washes up, and it's like if you keep replacing bits of the ship,
yeah.
like will it still be the same ship? Someone said to me, yeah, like the Theseus ship. That's basically improv teams in action. So, because they tend to be rather fluid, and people leave, people join, and like you may not end up with the same team.
Right.
But this is actually our current improv team name. And basically, one of our members was trying to design a t-shirt. We were thinking maybe we need a t-shirt, and she drew this and said, "Guys, can we do something like this on a t-shirt?"
And I think she meant that we just put like cool type,
unsupervised, in like a cool font, like across the t-shirt. But Isaac, being Isaac, was very literal and put the whole design on a t-shirt.
I took her sketch and put it on a t-shirt. Everyone loved it, and so now we have t-shirts with this design.
A quick shout out to Susan Gast. She has a pretty cool book actually about print on demand. Susan, what's your book called? It's like how to stop making the S word that doesn't sell, I think. And it's got like a whole chapter on us.
Oh wow.
Like seriously, I was like, oh my gosh, Susan, thank you. That was really, really nice of you. So that's going on. Oh yeah, so dark mode. Yeah, Susan, feel free to put a link to your book in the comments. With dark mode, we were talking this week in the group. I kind of had an idea. So just before Christmas, I was Christmas shopping for one of our friends, and I wanted to get her a nice journal. And I realized I was kind of walking around Target, which probably isn't the best place for nice journals, but I kept finding black journals with like black paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked in like some Bujo groups, and people are really into like black paper and doing like journals on black paper, coloring books on black paper. So I got one made. I went to KDP and I just made this really boring, simple book. So like, I don't necessarily recommend you go buy it because it's literally just black paper with geometric shapes in. But I wanted to show you guys because I think it's pretty awesome. So this is a page I colored that way around with gel pens. So I drew these like little flowers with gel pens.
So yeah, so to clarify, the color you see here, yeah, that wasn't printed. Catherine actually
colored the flowers
with the gel pens, yeah.
But everything else, the white and the gray, those are printed in the book. But I wanted you guys to see that this is like really smooth. People were saying, well, I'm not sure about black paper from Amazon. Look at this, it bleeds right to the edges. It is super smooth all the way through. I don't see any like blotchiness or anything in there. So there we go. It's black paper. And what you do with black paper, you basically need gel pens. So I tested it. I had some really cheap writing gel pens. Those don't work really well on black paper. What I found did work well were like coloring pens. So, oh, there you go. I think, cool. Okay, we put that through.
Yeah.
There you go. Suzanne's book is How to Stop Writing Shit That Won't Sell. And it has a whole chapter on us on it. So yay, thank you for that, Susan. So yeah, so with the black paper, I didn't use 0000000.
The hexadecimal color code for
black.
And that's
very black.
Pure black.
Like Isaac's
the
soul black.
Of black.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got scared then. Oh, that was a little creepy. I actually used a slightly off, like bluish black.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes a difference because a couple of people said, oh, I've seen bad reviews on black paper. Seriously, this printed out perfectly. So I'm like, and maybe true black. I think I'm going to try another one with true black to see what response I get from that and see whether that has any glitches in. But honestly, I was really, really, really impressed with the way it printed. So black books.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Now, a lot of people talk about KDP's printing quality. And so occasionally, if you do an all black, they can like glitch or you might find scratches. This particular one, we got really lucky because every single page looks perfect.
I also wonder if maybe they've improved their printing procedures
might be it.
Or something like that.
If you are going with that design, I'll give you a little nerd corner for a moment. If you are going with the black design, try to avoid using transparency or opacity with your background colors. For example, suppose you have a great big black box you put for your background. Some people might use the transparency or opacity layer to make it slightly gray. what you want to do is make that a solid color. Don't rely on transparency and opacity, because KDP printers have an issue interpreting that, and they can come out looking funky.
So I wonder if that's why some books are getting bad reviews.
I suspect that's the case.
A couple of things. Yeah, that is a glossy cover. Someone just asked if that's a glossy cover. That is a glossy cover. Oh, I messed it up already. In my experience, glossy covers don't tend to show fingerprints as much as the matte covers. Yeah. I really do like the matte covers, but I find that when you do solid dark on matte covers, yeah, the fingerprints are an issue. So with solid black, I tend to do glossy. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The other cool thing about doing black and white printing is that this is actually a black and white book. Like you can do grayscale. So I think on that image I was showing you, there was some gray on that. But you can do grayscale, and it only costs you the black and white price. So you're not paying for a color book. Yeah. So this is almost like, it kind of feels like a color book.
It really does.
Without having the whole fee for color.
And if you're going with gray, KDP recommends that you don't go lighter than 10%. So on the black level, 0 would be pure white, 100% would be pure black. Go 10%. I would argue go maybe 20% as well, just to assure that the print quality is consistent. What?
Good tips, Isaac. Yeah. I just wanted to show this book again, just because there was like some crazy drama in our group yesterday. Someone came in and was very angry at this book. So I guess in Canada they were charging like 28 Canadian dollars for it, which
the exchange rate.
I don't know what 28 Canadian dollars is, but it's like $11 right now on Amazon.com, or at least it was last time I checked, which was yesterday. And this is the Joanna Basford book we're talking about. I don't know, I just wanted to show a couple of things just so people can sort of see what it's like, that you have. It really just gives you like little simple tutorials on one page, and then you kind of get to be creative and fill things in on the next page. So I just kind of wanted to show that, just because this lady came in our group and she said, well, I felt it was really basic and it was too easy. And she was very angry. She was very angry. She didn't stay very long in the group.
Now, the only thing I would say, Joanna Basford, she pretty much created the modern day adult coloring craze.
Yeah,
like she's like the founder of it all. So you mad props and respects to her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an affiliate for Joanna Basford or anything like that, so I really don't have any horse in the race. But I just wanted to share it because I know a lot of people are really getting into drawing. And it was 2 weeks ago we were talking about tracing and drawing and stuff like that. So. Sorry, I was reading the comments and drinking my peppermint tea. Okay, so let's move on with the show, because, oh my gosh, there's a lot to talk about this week. Let me see, where should we start? Let's start with, actually, I want to start with platform of the week. Okay, so platform of the week. Now, I know there is currently a lot of buzz around like TikTok. A lot of people are getting into TikTok, which is pretty much like a short video platform. You can record a short video. It was kind of based off a music, like a karaoke.
Yeah, like lip singing music.
Yeah, so it started off with like lip syncing. So you could like sing along with people. No, I think you could actually sing and do karaoke. Okay. So it was kind of a karaoke app, but it quickly became like a general video platform. Now, what's interesting, and this is why I think, so there have been quite a lot of other video platforms have cropped up, and most of them have not been able to take anything away from TikTok. However, there is a new platform that I think we should take notice of, although it's kind of funny because this article is a little bit negative about it, but there's a reason I think you should take notice of it. It's a platform called Byte. B-Y-T-E. It's an app. You can get it on your phone right now. I think it was released this week. And it's called Byte. And the reason I think it's really interesting is it's basically Vine reborn. So the creator of Vine is putting this out there. Now, Vine was super successful a few years ago, and then it just disappeared. They just
I think Instagram killed it.
Yeah, I think it was because Instagram started doing and Facebook started doing stories.
I think once Instagram incorporated videos, which at the time didn't. So at the time, Vine was like the only platform.
Yeah, and so
for that type of video.
Instagram pretty much crushed them.
Yeah.
But I think now people have kind of moved in a different direction where they're not really using Instagram for videos, and people have got used to using TikTok for videos. And Byte feels a lot like TikTok. But the thing with Byte, the gimmick, is that videos are only allowed to be 6 seconds long.
We're making them even shorter.
Which I think is kind of brilliant, because it's like, I don't know, I feel this works really well for like young people, especially who are just doing a million. And for me, I like things short.
This is mind blowing, because Vine was like 9 seconds. Was it 7 or 9?
7.
It was 7 seconds.
Maybe
Vine was 7 or 9 seconds. Then Facebook came up with their videos, and they made theirs 30 seconds. So people felt like they had more freedom because it's 30 seconds. So now the creator of Vine's coming back and saying we're only going to allow ours to have 6 seconds, which is less.
But it's kind of funny. Like I almost feel like it's a bit like Twitter, right? Like Twitter only gives you like limited characters.
Yeah.
It's like the restriction actually makes it a little bit easier to do something with it, I think. Because it's like, what can you do in 6 seconds? So like there was a girl, right? And she's wearing like blue overalls and a yellow shirt, and she sat there and she goes, yeah, I dressed like this today. Oh yeah, everyone's calling me a minion now. And it's funny because she looks like a minion because she's wearing that. But like that's
Get to the point.
Right. So it's like really quick stories and like snappy jokes and things like that.
It reminds me, so when I was in college, we took a film editing class, and one of the things we learned about, like if you look at commercials, each scene only lasts for about maybe 1 to 1.5 seconds long. And you can actually count, like if you look at a commercial, start counting, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and you'll notice a pattern that they switch less than 2 seconds. They tend to switch almost like clockwork. And so, but commercials, they've had to develop that strategy because
like
they
different camera angles.
Yes, camera angle, scene, it switches. And so, but part of that is because they only have a small amount of time to tell a story, and they have to tell it as quickly as possible.
So apparently Byte's running into some problems though. They said people have already set up accounts from like Taylor Swift, real Donald Trump, and there's a lot of spam. But it seems like they're very aware of, see, there they are. These are all the fake ones. That. Jeff Bezos, who's like a cat. It seems that people are or Byte, as it now is, are very aware of the spam, and they're looking at dealing with that. So it's really early in the game. This has been released for like less than a week. So I guess it's a matter of sort of see where it goes. But I think it's really interesting. I think there is a lot of potential in there just because of where it's coming from, the fact that it used to be Vine. And I think I like the interface as well. Like the interface is really cool. That it divides the videos into categories.
Yeah, that's
like
pretty
weird, cool. Cute, pets, chill. Like all of those are different videos.
So at first glance, what I felt what separated it from all the other platforms was its categories and somewhat like curation of it, which I thought was
so. I think this could be really good for like authors, like or low content bookmakers, because guys, all you need to do really is just be like, hey, here's my book, and you can flick through it in like easily kind of 6 seconds, and just show like your best pages and be like, there it is, boom, enjoy. So I think it's definitely one to watch for like marketing and promotions.
Yeah.
So okay. What else have we got to look at today? We've got loads of things. Oh my gosh, I'm going to move through them a little quicker.
Okay.
Oh, this one, I wanted to talk about this last week, actually, because I posted about it in the group last week, but then we skipped the show last week. But this is a conversation from Google, and it's actually from the Think with Google newsletter. And I think this is really interesting. So they got this guy from, I think he's like a marketing expert. And he said that all Google searches break down into 6 categories. And I found this article, which is actually a slightly longer version of the one that I posted in the group. It has a little bit more information in it. But he broke down Google searches into these 6 categories. He said people who are searching on Google are either saying, surprise me, thrill me, impress me, educate me, reassure me, or help me. I feel like there was like a U2 song, like hold me, thrill me, kiss me, kill me, or something. It's like,
Some great lyrics, right?
It's pretty close to it. You got
right.
surprise me, thrill me, impress me. That's the Shania Twain one there. Don't impress me much. Okay. But I thought this was actually really cool to bear in mind when people are looking for, like, if you sell something, what are people who might be searching? What are they searching for? Can your book be the answer to one of these needs? And Google called them need states. So if you want to look up more about these, they're called need states. But I was kind of going through these and I felt like all of them have potential for books. Like, thrill me. I mean, like, oh my gosh, still you've got all your like sexy books in there. You've got kind of, I don't know, really beautiful designs that are kind of really out there. Surprise me. Like, I feel like surprise me is where you've got all the sort of discover things, where you show people something they may not have seen before or found before. Impress me. So that's about
impressing me much.
I already did that.
I know.
Like
it's still stuck in my head.
Now
I got the earworm.
So it says search is about, I'm just reading it at the same time, influencing and winning. So that's pretty cool. Like, what about, like, you could have a high-end journal, a sort of bling journals, like something that makes you look important, like the very important person's journal. Educate me. Like, educate me is great. And this, I like what it says here. It's thorough. It's people are looking for reviews, ratings, comparisons. They want competence and control. So a lot of the time when people are making like niche planners, especially, or diaries, I always suggest like putting some facts in there, putting in like maybe lists of information like contacts or events, calendars, anything that can be helpful, like charts of like conversion charts, or like this into that, like anything that's sort of relevant to the world of your planner. So like, I don't know, if you're making like a teacher's planner, maybe you want a list of like maybe class ideas or like class exercises you could do, or put something like that in. So I feel like that's where you put extra content in your book. It's to kind of educate
I feel like prompt journals could be educational in that, you know, when you open a new page, you have something to think about, a quote from a famous person or a successful person.
Right. And also they kind of guide you to think and to create. Yeah. And I feel like when you sort of write or sketch, you're kind of learning, you're like engaged in learning. Right. And then you have like reassure me. And I feel like a lot of the guided journals kind of are like comfort books. Like, how can you make a book sort of reassuring and comforting? And I think for a lot of people, things like mood trackers, habit trackers, those are really good for like reassurance of like, great, I remember to drink my bottles of water today, or like, great, I managed to spend half an hour meditating today. Like, that's kind of reassuring. And then help me. I mean, like, gosh, I remember like back in the day when sort of KDP people were just doing ebooks, and people would do things like make ebooks on one like question. Like, I don't know, how do I delete my Amazon account or something? And people would like make ebooks to answer those questions. Yeah. And I think that sort of help me is like a really cool prompt as well to bear in mind when you're making books. So
that's pretty cool. Now, did they go into the hierarchy of which ones are more popular than others?
I don't think so. I don't think they've broken that down in the article.
Because that would be really interesting. What gets most church?
So he says, I was just asking if Minnie Driver and Adam Driver are related. I wonder where that falls. Probably educate me.
Probably educate.
That's like discover things. Like, so yeah, I think these are really cool questions to bear in mind.
No, I use Google for to do math.
I think that's probably help me.
Help me. Okay, help me. Okay.
Like solves your problem for you.
Okay.
Like I always say, like a book that solves a problem is the most likely to sell. Like, if you can identify like a legit problem that people are having, even if it's something dumb or simple, then you can make a book that actually helps them. Those are the kind that are most likely to sell.
Yeah, so, I can see that.
Another thing someone came up with, I don't know if it was Jessica. I think Jessica was talking on the thread in the group, but someone suggested like a dating book based around these concepts as well, which I thought was great. That you can be like imagine you go to a speed dating night, right? Yeah. You could have every page for each person you speed date. And you can be like, did he surprise me? Yes. Did he thrill me? No, he didn't impress me much. There you go. So yeah.
Not the one.
I'm still coughing. I got like
You got
the Wu-Tang flu. I'm like
Wu-Tang flu.
the Wu-Tang flu. Like, don't stay away from the Wu-Tang flu. I heard about that. It's not good.
Oh yeah. Well.
Okay, moving on. Swiftly on.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there we go. That was my post. Oh, this is pretty cool. Shutterstock. Again, I wanted to talk about this last week, but we weren't here last week, so we're kind of catching up.
Yeah.
Shutterstock put out this pretty awesome creative trends for 2020.
Okay.
And check it out. This is really pretty. So they are going after like the visual trends.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool? Look at this. The Roaring Twenties. They kind of have this like gold on black, like the retro.
I see that. It's pretty cool.
Like the Art Nouveau, Art Deco style.
I like it. Nice.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. It sort of fits in with our black dark mode theme.
Yes.
And the gold on black as well.
That's so cool. Yeah. So one of the things I mentioned in our Facebook group was how I know as a programmer, my very first programming gig I had, I sat down and a fellow programmer, a programmer, I guess, he's like, yeah, man, if you're going to be working here, you're going to want a black screen. You don't want to be looking at a white screen because it's going to bug your eyes. And he goes, it helps. Just trust me, bro. This is what you want to do. And he got me used to using what's called dark mode, which is a theme where you have a dark background with light text.
You have everything in dark mode.
Everything I do now is dark mode. And
right, but I always look over. I'm like, oh, are you in incognito mode, Isaac? What are you hiding there? I'm like,
Closed window. Don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. That's good.
But yeah, so dark mode is really popular, and it's been really fun for me as a developer because recently, I think all the major platforms and websites now offer a dark mode option. So if you're on iOS, for example, you can go to settings. If you go to settings, go to display and brightness. So if you have an iPhone, just go to settings.
You're just trying to get your dark mode running.
Absolutely. Display and brightness, and you can switch the appearance to dark mode, and then the interface has reverse colors.
Not everyone wants to live on the dark side.
No, you're wrong. Everyone does. They just don't know it yet.
Okay. Wow. Isaac the code leader. Okay. So I like this one's my one here. The occulture. That's a great word.
That's really great.
That. But basically the occult culture. I love all of this stuff. I have a lot of shirts with like.
So you're saying you love a website that has dark mode?
I guess it's all kind of dark.
You just didn't know it yet.
Leave me alone. You're horrible this week. You're like picking on me.
Anyways, go on.
I usually pick on you. So yeah, any basically kind of symbology. Is that even a word? Symbology? I don't know.
Symbology?
Symbiotic?
Is it symbiotic?
No, I meant like symbolism.
Oh, symbolism.
I was trying to be like cool.
Yeah.
But kind of things like sort of tarot, Ouija boards, like I love this stuff. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So that's kind of a big thing at the moment. I know in like magic formulas, we got really into like sort of talking about how you can use things like cards, like oracles, things like that, and create products around them. Because people love spells, they love magic, anything along those lines. Because it's like another way of solving a problem. Like if you're feeling stressed, it's like, okay, you can go take like drugs for being stressed. You can like go do primal scream outside. You can like go for a nap, or you can like wave crystals and essential oils. And like it's like another approach to solving a problem. So people often like magic because it solves the problem.
I see that. Yeah.
Even if it's like placebo or placebo.
Sure.
Full bloom. Oh, flowers.
Oh, I love this site. This is such a beautiful site.
Big poofy flowers coming out. So that's another one. Cannabis, of course. There you go, Isaac. You put this in here, didn't you? Did you like hack this site and put minimalist black in there? Because that's very you. But didn't they do an awesome job with this? Like it looks Chinese ink painting. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a nice style.
Game. What's a game on? What is that?
Basically like
sports?
Athletic wear and like sports shots. You know, like when you have like the guy with the six pack and he's all just glistening. And let me just dwell on that thought for a moment. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I get you back. Okay. So yeah, there you go. There's like surfer dude. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like lots of like chalk and like sweat and all of that malarkey. Stuff that we don't do a lot of.
Because we lazy, yeah.
Because we're I don't know. What was this? Change, petitions, protests. Oh yeah, protests start. This keeps coming up in. Oh, there is. You know, it's funny. I was talking about Library of Congress earlier. About women's rights to vote. The Library of Congress actually has a big collection of posters that are from, I think they're like from 1915 or maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
They're in the public domain. They're government posters, but they're kind of like public service or public awareness things. But they have this really cool style. So actually this kind of style is pretty similar to the posters that are, they're called like the Workers' Association posters or something. I'll have to find them and post it. But yeah, there's a pretty awesome collection of these kind of artwork, public domain on the Library of Congress site.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's like there's either 100 or 200 of them.
I want to shout out to that awesome typography.
I know, that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
It's a nice font. So there you go, and local trends. So yeah, if you're on the site on Shutterstock, you can also go explore local trends as well. So that's a pretty nice, I'll put a link to it after the show. I'll put a link on YouTube. Cool. Okay, what else have we got to talk about? Because I know we had a lot this week. Okay, let me close a few windows. Okay. So I got a bit more space.
I'm looking at our notes. I don't want to yell them
out. Okay, no, I've got them. Okay, let's go back in. Okay, so you put this one on here. Pantone 448C. Tell us about this one.
Oh yes, this is great. It showed up somewhere on the net. It's known as the ugliest color in the world.
Why? What did it ever do to anyone?
It existed.
This is the color here. Actually, it's right there.
Yeah, it's kind of a muted, really dark brown.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and for some reason that's considered. Now, I think this was on Hacker News, and for some reason on Wikipedia, this is declared the ugliest color. You can read about it, but I feel
bad for it.
Right, but a lot of people came up saying magenta is actually the ugliest color.
What?
Yeah, I
know. Wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta show. Like this is literally the color of the skirt I'm wearing. Is that not like magenta?
Yeah, a little more on the red side.
Wow, I love magenta. It's a great color.
Yeah,
and also my favorite character in the Rocky Horror Show.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Right. Like, don't be dissing on magenta.
So wasn't it last year like the best color for Pantone? This year it was. Well, in 2019 it was blue, right? It was like the corporate blue,
the classic
that
blue.
Boring blue. Wasn't it the year before that? Wasn't it like an ugly coral?
Yeah, it was coral. It was that gross coral color.
Right, I think they were mainly referring to that. Maybe when they thought magenta, because I know a lot of people think
that's not magenta, that's coral. It's completely different.
That was my thought. No. Okay.
No, don't be confusing magenta and coral. No.
Okay.
No. So yeah, that's that really like weird. I don't know. I feel like there's something you can do with this, with like the ugliest color. You can make like trend, counter trend. Maybe you can make the ugliest journal in the world.
Yeah.
That would be pretty fun. Yes, Stephen, we are live.
Yeah, there might be a 5-second delay from when you type. Yeah,
there is a small delay from typing, but yes, it is live.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, this is it's also called as opaque couche, which means layered opaque, and they say that's not actually the real color it should be used for. But what's interesting is they've been using it for cigarette packaging in the UK and Australia to put people off cigarettes.
Wow, they've been using that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. Maybe because it looks kind of
and they said it's kind of olive green.
Yeah, olive green.
But the Australian Olive Association complained, so they're not using that now. So now it's a drab dark brown. Anyway, so that's the
okay.
Oh, talking of Australia, this is really fun. So you can find where the opposite place to you is in the world.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
If we go and put in like San Diego, and we find it, okay, we're in the water, but we're in the water just off of Madagascar.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you dug a hole from our living room, we will come out near Madagascar. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, I'm ready for a vacation.
Let's go to Madagascar. Well, we'll need a boat when we get to the other side.
When we get there, but it's only a little way.
Right. We can do this. So There was a story of two guys. This guy in Spain was looking for someone in the opposite end of the world, so they can make the world's largest sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and so
that.
the guy in Spain found someone in New Zealand, and they ended up like coordinating it. Took a photo or a video or whatever, and one guy put the one bread on one side, and the other guy put the bread on the other side, and together the sandwich encompasses the entire planet.
Wow, they made a world sandwich.
An Earth sandwich.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that.
I thought that was funny.
So there you go. You can figure out where Jessica goes. What's the avatar doing? That's a very good question. I think he's digging a hole. I think he's trying to go through the middle of the Earth. So yeah. Oh, and while we're not done being ridiculous, I wanted to share the emergency bra that doubles as a face mask.
Oh.
So because we're all very concerned about the Wu-Tang virus, right? You can actually like now wear your bra on your face, Isaac. So yeah, that would have been great if you just we should have planned that. That would have been amazing. Yeah, so you can just put your bra across your face and it will protect you from viruses and anything else that you're concerned about.
Wow, saved by a bra.
Yes. Cool. Okay, what else we got? Wow, we're rocking through things. Actually no, I'm going to talk about this one. So this is interesting. This is kind of like a serious and not serious post, but I think it's kind of educational actually. So I guess what happened was this Republican posted a meme with this kid, and this kid is known as Success Kid. And yeah, so I feel like everyone's seen this meme a million times. And I guess this guy who's like a Republican politician, he said he was going to keep making memes so that the lefties stay triggered. And what happened is the mother of this child, who's actually not called Success Kid, he's called Sammy Greener. And he's now actually a lot older than he was in that picture.
It's a pretty old meme.
She has said that she doesn't give him permission to use that picture. And this is actually really interesting because copyright when it comes to memes is just a huge mess. And there really aren't many precedents or lawsuits that have happened that have really sort of determined what the status is of memes. And this is actually a really interesting article because they have a lawyer who makes a few comments on here. So basically, the mother has sent a cease and desist to the politician, saying that he has to remove those images and also put up a notice saying the image was used without permission. And if he doesn't do that, she's going to sue him. So I don't really know where that's going to go yet. Yeah. But this is what I thought was interesting. I'm trying to find the quotes in here. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. A policy attorney who is, I don't know, she works for a non-profit specializing in internet copyright issues. She says the question of who owns the rights to a meme is fuzzy. If an image goes viral and the image owner doesn't do anything to protect the image, then the owner has implied that they're okay with any uses. This theory is called an implied license. So they're saying she's saying if there's a meme and it's become very popular, it's been spread all over the internet, and the person who owns the initial copyright, the original copyright, doesn't do anything about it, they may actually get to a point where they can't do anything about it because it's too late. It's like it's out of the box and they've given implied license for it. But that's what she's trying to do. She's saying she has used her copyright. She hasn't let it go. And she's saying that she has managed the licensing and made decisions about who can use it. So she has licensed it to some people. So I think this is really interesting. They go on to say usually, so this is another great quote from the lawyer involved. She says, usually copyright holders use discretion about how they allow their images to be used. So most image rights holders don't go after every cosplayer or hobbyist who may be technically violating a copyrighted work. Well, most people assume the fair, and so let's stop on that for a moment. So what actually happens is that like, I mean, you're going to see people at Comic-Con wearing like Star Wars uniforms or like outfits.
Yeah.
You're going to see people in Disney costumes and all kinds of things. And technically, they're probably all breaching copyright. It's not their, like, they didn't come up with it. It's not their invention.
Is that true? Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly, like,
do you DIY? Like, if I made Mickey Mouse ears and walk around with my
yeah, because that's probably it's like a trademark of Disney. So I mean, but here's the thing. Well, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But what she's saying is basically, technically, you're violating a copyrighted work. Like when you make a copy of it, like that's what copyright is. When you make a copy of someone else's work, you're probably violating their copyright. However, most companies do not want to go after people who are actually promoting them.
Right, that's a hard.
Right, if you're walking around just saying, I love some, like, I don't know, whatever it is, that's probably a good thing. People go after people who are basically exploiting their copyright, making money off it, or using it in a way that is damaging to their image. So that's usually when people sort of jump in. So then she goes in to say, while most people assume the fair use of an image, should be decided by, did you make money from it? That's actually more of a social or moral judgment, not necessarily what the law says. So a lot of people assume like, well, I'm not making any money from it, so really it's not a copyright violation. But actually, like, even just reposting a meme. And so, I mean, technically, we're probably all breaking it by reposting memes all over Facebook. But most copyright holders don't care if you do that, if you repost something all over Facebook. But they could. And I feel like this is
so weird. I mean, especially like, it's so out of your control what happens online. And it's like, even if you were to try to hunt down, like, I feel like it can spread so far that it would appear as if you're not doing anything.
But you see, this is why, like, so people got really mad on Etsy recently, which is like crazy. Yeah. They're like, what? I made all these like Baby Yoda things, right? And they're selling them on Etsy, and then they get all mad because like Disney go after them.
Like, no Baby Yoda for you.
Right, but here's the thing. This explains why, like, Disney have to go after you,
that makes sense.
Because otherwise they can end up giving implied license to everyone to post all this stuff.
Pretty huge legal challenge.
It's one of those things that's kind of still up in the air. Like, this has never really been pushed through like a lawsuit to see what happens, to see where copyright is on memes and how they can be used. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting. I think I'm going to be watching this just because I think this is a really interesting case.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, memes. Like,
I'm more surprised that the senator like could even bother fighting. Like he can't just like switch out, like there's a billion different images out there. You can't just like switch it out. But no, we're gonna go to court and fight this.
Wow. Yeah. So anyway, there it is. There's that story. I had one other thing. What did I have? Oh yeah, the Dolly Parton challenge. I think you showed this to me.
Yeah.
But it seems like this has already gone out of fashion already. Like, this was huge about 4 days ago, and I haven't seen it since.
It was good for a day.
Everyone's basically making their own version of the Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. What is it? No, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Tinder.
Yeah.
So you have like your cool pictures for Instagram, your home picture for Facebook, your sexy picture. They had one. I like
that
the
was
Queen.
The best. Yeah.
She's like the same everywhere. The Queen doesn't change. She's just wearing red, I guess, to go be on Tinder.
That's it. Yeah.
I think my favorite one was the Tim Curry one.
Oh yeah.
I like the Tim Curry one. So his LinkedIn, he's like from Clue with like the suit on. I don't know. There are a couple of others, Facebook and Instagram, and then Tinder was like full on Frankfurter. And like I was like, that's my favorite one. So I thought that was kind of fun. And I love this.
The public domain, yeah.
So the Met Museum made their own with like public domain artwork, which kind of shows you like what we keep saying about like fine art. You can recycle fine art in so many ways. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, moving on. I think I'm about done. I just have one other thing I wanted to share.
Okay.
I wanted to share, hold on, let me just switch over. Dun, 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 dun. I wanted to share this. So this is my favorite Reddit at the moment. Hold on, which page are we on that one? It's called Act Like You Belong. And it's like a trending subreddit in January. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's hilarious because it's just about people who managed to get to places that they didn't belong at. So it's like I managed to like sneak onto this like movie set or into like someone's graduation or something.
Wow.
And then they just so the best one, I don't know if where was it? I don't know if it's still this lady. So this lady's the best.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So this is hilarious. She pretended to be a sign language interpreter. And she showed up for like the police when they were doing like a televised conference and said, "Oh yeah, I can do sign language. I'll do it for you." And then she just made it up, which is just hilarious. Like,
I like the chief.
Right.
He's like, to the untrained eye, she looked like she knew what she was doing.
Like she didn't make any money out of it or anything. She just showed up and said, "Oh, that sounds good."
No,
Okay,
they said they will not be using her services again.
Well,
it sounded like
they actually paid her.
Yeah, they hired her.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And she faked her credentials and stuff.
Wow.
But, yeah.
So yeah, I felt like that was kind of an improv yes and moment. When you're just like, yeah, I can do it. Sure, let's try this and see how it goes. Okay.
Oh boy.
Cool. Okay, so Nerd Corner, it's yours.
Oh yeah, Nerd Corner. This is what I want to talk about today in Nerd Corner. I know we had a few other ones. This hotel company hooked up with Atari, and they are creating Atari branded hotels. I think they're going to do like 8 of them across the US. And so this is really exciting and cool, and possibly could be the future of more hotels to come. And so it's going to be a video game themed hotel. And they said they're going to have the latest in AR, augmented reality and virtual reality entertainment. Also with esports. So like Fortnite competitions and stuff will be held here. And so it looks like a really, we've been saying this from day one of the Tangent Show, how video games is just so embedded in our culture now. And it's just going to continue to grow. And it's becoming like the leading form of entertainment. And I think this hotel here is definitely in the right direction.
I want to go play in the Atari hotel.
Yeah.
I
cool.
just play Space Invaders though. That's what I think of.
You know what I'm gonna do, so yeah.
You don't even need to be at a hotel.
Well,
you just live in VR.
That's true. That's
like you could just be in a hotel room in VR. And
that's true. However, there are things, especially with games, like LAN parties. So like VR is awesome, but VR is it's 1,000 times better when you play it with someone else next to you. As VR is right now in AR, it's a very lonely experience. I mean, you can chat with people online, you can play with people online, but like physically, you're on your own. Once you put on the headset, the world around you disappears.
And I know it, Isaac.
But anyways, we did one in Las Vegas. That was really cool. I took Sid and Autumn, and we went through a Star Wars adventure, and it was really fun to just share that experience. The Void. Yeah, and that was really fun, and it was so cute to see Sid hug the little robot. He was a tiny little stormtrooper, and he went and just there was a robot there, and he gave it a hug, and we all
because that's Sid. He's not,
that's what Sid does.
He's like a lover, not a fighter.
He gives way too many hugs.
Okay. You wanted to mention the iPad.
Oh yeah, the iPad. Another thing is yesterday was its 10th year anniversary.
I remember when you bought me my first iPad and it had my name on the back.
It did.
Oh, that was about 10 years. That was like when it came out.
No, it was about 7 years ago. So I bought the very, very first iPad when it came out. I think it was before we met.
Oh, no, you had it just up because I remember I came and found you in the line.
That was
the Apple store.
That was my.
Oh, you already had one?
Yeah. So I was upgrading it. So the very first one, I waited in line probably about 6 hours. I waited in line to buy the iPad because, right. And so but when the third one came out, I bought that, and then I bought one for Catherine. She didn't even want it at the time. She's like, "What am I going to use an iPad for?"
You know what I used it for?
Treasure hunting.
I went treasure hunting with it. That was what I used my first iPad for. I went to that was what I took to Nordstrom and wrote down like, okay, this is what's in stock here. List it on eBay quick. I found a use.
You had your little command center in the car when you were out traveling, going from shop to shop. You used your iPad as your GPS, right? For maps, was it?
I think so, yeah. So then, that was because I still had a really dumb phone at that time.
Right, so, the droid.
The iPad was good. It was a good droid. I like that. Cool. Anyway,
right,
so
I think that's it.
Anything else? Okay, that was our tangent show for this week. Have we got anything good lined up this week? Yes. So we keep your eyes peeled. We are working on some tangent template updates as
so
we speak.
Fully this week. I'm
Hoping
working
this
really
week,
hard
but
to
no
iron out,
promises.
yeah, everything. But yeah,
because like you know how development goes, sometimes you have to test
Yeah.
things, but we're pretty close to having some really good stuff coming out for you guys. Thank you for watching. Come and join our KDP group if you are not in there already. We love you guys. Have an amazing Tuesday night and enjoy the rest of your week. Okay, thanks. Oh wait, oh my gosh, let me do that. Hold on. I messed up the ending. I was trying to like be all
come on, we gotta have a proper
professional.
ending.
All right, thank you everyone for watching. We love you very much. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.